I never imagined that a single phone call from a dusty payphone on the edge of a highway gas station would be the beginning of the end. It was February 1993. I was on the road like most days back then. I worked as a field service technician, fixing ATMs, cash registers, and anything with wires and a flickering screen. My territory was huge. I lived out of my car in cheap motels with my thermos, my tools, and my own company. I didn't mind it. In fact, I liked the solitude. The long drives gave me time to think about my life, my wife, and the pieces we had lost and tried to patch back together. That night, I pulled into a truck stop off Highway 72 just outside of Kingsbury. I'd been there before. It had what I needed: clean restrooms, tolerable coffee, and, most importantly back then, a working payphone. This was before cell phones were everywhere. That payphone was my lifeline to dispatch. I'd just finished a routine call, logging a completed service order, when the phone rang again. I hesitated. It felt strange, like the phone had remembered me. Still, I answered. "Hello?" There was a pause, then a voice, her voice. "It's me," she said. I recognized it instantly. My wife. Her voice didn't sound tired. It sounded hollow. "We need to talk," she said. "I can't promise it's over." Before I could say a word, she hung up. Just like that. I stood there, holding the receiver like a live wire. The fluorescent light above me buzzed and flickered. The stale smell of coffee and gasoline filled the air. Around me, the world moved on, truck engines idling, a bag of chips crinkling near the vending machines, but inside, something had frozen. I don't remember driving home. When I walked in, the house was dark. She was already in bed, or pretending to be. I stood at the bedroom doorway for a long time, listening to the rhythm of her breath. Even that felt staged. The next morning, over toast and silence, I asked about the call. She blinked slowly, looked at me with the same face I'd woken up next to for over a decade. "What call?" she asked. I told her, repeated what I had heard. She smiled faintly, not a warm smile, more like the kind you give a stranger who said something awkward. "You must have dreamed it," she said, and turned away. I watched her for a long time, trying to detect the lie, but she gave me nothing. Just that practiced stillness. That was the beginning of the real silence between us, not the absence of sound, but the absence of truth. In the weeks that followed, I began to notice things, little shifts. Her phone was always face down. When it rang, she left the room. Her work hours stretched longer. Her smile became something from memory, like a photo you haven't looked at in years. We had been married over 10 years. We'd weathered a lot. Health scares, job losses, the slow deaths of people we loved. But the hardest thing, the one that left the deepest mark, was the slow, heartbreaking failure to have a child. She had been diagnosed with endometriosis in the early years of our marriage. We tried everything: specialists, pills, schedules, hope. And when all of that failed, we faced the surgery. In 1991, she had a hysterectomy. She cried herself to sleep for weeks. So did I. We never really talked about it, just moved around it, like broken glass on the floor. You don't sweep it up, you just learn to step around it. And now, 2 years later, I felt it. The presence of someone else, someone who had walked into the space between us and quietly taken my place. It was a Wednesday in late March when I saw her car. I was parked near a truck stop I often used, finishing paperwork in the front seat. The afternoon sun was low, casting long shadows over the road. I looked up, and there it was, her car. A silver Taurus, unmistakable. She was heading east, toward the hills, not toward home. I froze. She didn't see me, or maybe she did. Either way, the light turned green, and she accelerated, hard, faster than I'd ever seen her drive. I started the engine and followed, but within a minute, she was gone. Turned down a side road or vanished into some unseen driveway. That night, she came home late. She smiled as she walked through the door, set her keys down like everything was normal, as if she hadn't torn something open in me. I looked at her and asked bluntly, "Who is he?" Her smile faded. Her shoulders straightened like a soldier bracing for inspection. Then, calmly, almost with boredom, she said, "Yes." There is someone she wouldn't say his name, wouldn't say where he lived, only that he made her feel seen. Seen. I remember thinking, what about all the years I saw you when you were sick and broken and crying yourself to sleep? Wasn't that enough? Apparently not. That night we slept in the same bed, but it might as well have been opposite sides of a canyon. She turned her back to me. I stared at the ceiling. I didn't know what to do with the rage, or the grief, or the strange, cold relief of confirmation. At least I wasn't crazy. Weeks passed. I expected papers, a final talk, some kind of confrontation or closure, but none came. Just a strange, numbing rhythm. She still came home, still did laundry, sometimes made dinner. She wasn't apologizing. She wasn't begging. She just remained. Like furniture, like weather. We functioned. That's all. We became experts in small talk, weather, groceries, bills, but not us. I couldn't remember the last time she touched me. And then, one night, maybe 3 months after that phone call, she did. It was late. I was awake, staring at the dark ceiling. She slipped into bed quietly and reached over, touching my face. Her hand was warm, hesitant, gentle. She didn't say a word. I cried. I think she did too, but still we didn't speak about it. The years rolled forward, like a truck stuck in neutral, coasting down a hill. We didn't split. We didn't heal. We simply continued. Vacations were taken, photos were posed, holidays were hosted, smiles were practiced. No one suspected a thing. We became masters of the unspoken. A couple held together not by love or understanding, but by shared history and inertia. There was no forgiveness between us, only endurance, mutual fatigue, and maybe, if I'm honest, cowardice. Years later, I can't even remember the exact day, I asked her again, casually, as if the question had never burned a hole in my chest. "Do you ever think about him?" She was doing a crossword. She paused, pencil midair. "I dream about him sometimes," she said, then added after a beat, "but I don't know why." She went back to her puzzle. That was the last time we ever spoke about it. Now we're older. We're still in the same house, same routines. We still say, "love you" before bed, out of habit, I think, or nostalgia. But sometimes when she laughs too loudly at a movie or stares a little too long at the window, I wonder if she still dreams of him. Sometimes I wonder if I do too, but mostly I wonder who we became, because whatever we once were, we lost it that night at the gas station, or maybe long before that. The silence between us remains, not the absence of sound, but the absence of truth. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more crazy Reddit stories.